let's now look at the very fiery response from Godfred Adami, who is the former Attorney General, who is challenging. So the Attorney General said, for instance, in defending the position that the government and the Attorney General's office are actually doing their work very well, and because there's quite a bit of pressure on them that you are not prosecuting, you are not arresting, people are not in jail. You said Oral will recover 3 point something. What did Oral was going to recover? 39 billion or something like that. Oral has recovered 1 CD, no CD, 0 CDs. What is happening now? In his remarks, the Attorney General indicated that they were doing a very difficult job, and it was very hard, and they have all hands on deck on the job. Then he juxtaposed what they were doing to other prosecutions and trials that had occurred in the past. He said, for instance, that in the Atuforsen trial, it took a whole 6 months, half a year, for Godfred Adami, the then Attorney General, and his team to actually file witness statements. That's a very long time, half a year to file witness statements. The Attorney General proceeded to say that in the calendar of what he's doing right now, they have filed witness statements in a far, far, far shorter period than Godfred Adami did. And therefore, if people are criticizing them that they have been slow in prosecuting, they should remember that before it was much, much slower. You know that in the politics of Ghana, there's always equalization. When you accuse MPP of something, they say, oh, NDC is worse. You accuse NDC of something, they say MPP is worse. Politicians never answer the question you're asking them. They will rather tell you that their opponents are worse. That's been part of Ghana's political campaigning since about 2012. It didn't used to be before, but now it has become, because both political parties have had a go at government. So if you criticize NDC on something they do, they tell you MPP was worse. You criticize MPP on something they do, they say NDC was worse. So it didn't surprise the media yesterday that Dr. Dominic Ayine, in addressing the issues about the allegations that they were being slow, etc., he quickly pointed to MPP and said MPP was worse. You think we are being slow? We're doing this in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We have filed witness statements. They were filing witness statements. It took them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, half a year before they filed witness statements. That statement made by Dominic Ayine quickly resurrected Godfred Adami from his quiet law firm and decided to pen down a whole lot of issues relating to the Attorney General's press conference. And this is what Godfred Adami said. Let's have it on the screen and then we'll read it. He titles it, "The penchant of the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, to peddle untruths in his press conference is becoming quite alarming." And these are the things he said. He said on 28th July 2025, the Attorney General stated with some boldness that it took the Attorney General 6 months to file witness statements in the Republic versus Atuforsen and 2 others. This, Godfred Adami says, is palpably false, just like many other statements by him, referring to the Attorney General, Dr. Ayine. He goes on, the accused persons in the Republic versus Atuforsen and two others case were arraigned before the court for the first time on 18 January 2022. The court, he says, on that day gave directions for filing of disclosures after the grant of bail to all the accused and adjourned proceedings to 15 February 2022. The prosecution complied with the order of the court and filed all documents to rely on, including all intended exhibits, documents required by the defense, and all witness statements of the witnesses to be called by the Republic on the 14th of February 2022. Within 27 days, less than 1 month, and not 6 months as widely claimed by the Attorney General. This is a very serious matter. Of course, 14th February should remind everyone, those of you who are young and you like love things, 14th February is Valentine's Day, isn't it? But this is very serious. I mean, this is a public office that we are dealing with. This is matters of record that we are dealing with. One of them must be lying. And the one who is lying, or the one who is speaking untruth, is speaking a blatant untruth. How can 2 attorney generals operating the same office under separate regimes, one is one's predecessor, one attorney general says, it took you 6 months to file the witness statement. Another one says, what are you talking about? It's 27 days. The people who filed the witness statements, the staff of the attorney general, are the same. Mind you, we operate the British civil service system of permanence, neutrality, and there's a third one I've forgotten. They are permanence, they are neutral, and they are non-partisan. Non-partisan, permanent, and neutral. Those are the 3 epitaphs that the civil service works with. So the people who filed the witness statements in their 214 case. They are the same people in Dominic Ayine's office today. The director of public prosecutions hasn't changed. Deputy director hasn't changed. Chief state attorneys haven't changed. Maybe they've added some, but they have not changed. Maybe they are not playing the same role, but they are still in the office. How come then that the information going to one attorney general says they took 6 months to file, and the attorney general who filed says that, no, I filed it in 27 days? What is happening to our public service? Imani, are you there? Those of you talk about public sector reform. What is happening here? Anyway, let's move on. Godfred Ayine says further, for the sake of banishing falsehood and exposing the ways of the wicked, he says, I'm not sure the word wicked should be used. We take it out. That's Godfred Ayine's word. We don't call anyone wicked. Exposing the ways of other people, will say, I hereby exhibit a copy of the record of proceedings for 18 January 2022 and the process titled Documents to be relied on filed by the Attorney General on 14 February 2022. The inescapable reality. So Godfred Ayine says that he's providing the evidence for it. He says he's providing the evidence for it. So I'm sure that the fact-checking people, Fourth Estate, Suleiman Brahima, how are you? Good evening. There's something to fact-check for us. We beg you. Can you please fact-check this and let us know what's happening? Because this is very serious. How can the Attorney General said it took them 6 months to file? And then the other said, oh, no. What's he talking about? 27 days we filed it. The record is the record. What is going on? Anyway, he goes on to say that the inescapable reality of Dominic Ayine's latest and ex post facto rationalization, laden with contradictions and inconsistencies as they are, is that he sought to free his former clients from the clutches of criminal prosecution through the exercise of the power of nolle prosequi. That is the first disclosure he should have made to the public at his press conference. Ghanaians deserve this basic courtesy. 4. Dr. Ayine ought not mislead the public into thinking that through some unprecedented genius, he has recovered assets or money for the state. All the assets of the Dufours, Unibank, and related companies, as well as the other persons being prosecuted with them, had already been identified by the receivers of Unibank appointed by the Bank of Ghana. The receiver already had the full list and profile of assets owned by them. Dr. Ayine should indicate to the public when either himself or his team this year discovered any new assets owned by the Dufours. The record will reflect the fact that to date, Dr. Ayine has not recovered a single cedi in the Unibank matter. What he proposes to do, and for which he has already entered nolle prosequi, is to, in future, use some of the assets already identified by the receiver to defray what he has unilaterally determined to be owed by the accused persons. Instructively, this arrangement is not pursued under any law. It is only pursuant to the exercise of Dr. Ayine's power of nolle prosequi. Dr. Ayine thus cannot lay claim to recovering any more assets than what the receiver had already recovered. He also cannot claim to have recovered for the Republic any more money from the accused persons this year. Questions arising include, was any agreement executed with the Republic before the entry of the nolle prosequi, and if so, when? Where is that agreement? Has any fair and objective valuation of the properties been done, and if so, when? Where is the valuation? I like the part. So he's raising questions about, he thinks Dr. Ayine should have said more. He admits that Dr. Ayine did not need to say anything to anyone based on the application of nolle prosequi. When the Attorney General applies nolle prosequi as the Attorney General's privilege and discretion, he doesn't have to explain to people. That's recognized by Godfred Ayine. But if you want to explain to people, then you need to explain correctly, properly, and comprehensively, as it were. So his concern is that there are a few more questions left for Dr. Ayine to tell the general public in terms of how the Unibank thing was done and how the nolle prosequi was issued. But he goes on to talk about Atuesian, which is what I'm very interested in. It's in paragraph 5. He says, in the Republic versus Atuesian, a case arising out of the collapse of Capital Bank, the amount admitted as owed by Atuesian himself was 27 million. The state, in an arrangement entered into under Section 35 of the Courts Act 1993, Act 459, settled on 90 million to be paid by the accused person. The accused person paid 30 million in cash before the settlement was adopted by the court, with the rest to be paid over a period of 1 year. I dare say that on account of the resetting of prosecution we are witnessing, there is no justification for Ato Essien to be in jail, having paid so much. I'm sure he means free Ato Essien now. And then he goes on to say, under what circumstance that Dr. Ayine claimed that the counsel for the accused in the Beige Bank case offered him 10 million. I assert that there is no record of this. I challenge Dr. Ayine to produce receipt of such a proposal and his official response. Was it a proposal to Ayine in his private capacity, etc., etc.? Okay. The state lost the Beige Capital case under Dr. Ayine's watch on an appeal against a ruling on submission of no case filed by the accused person. Alarmingly, instead of exploring means of challenging the correctness of the decision of the Court of Appeal at the Supreme Court, Dr. Ayine seems very satisfied, he says, with the development and has already made comments suggestive of a disinclination to appeal. So, the battle lines are drawn. I'm sure media will continue to chew on this, and each of the persons who have written about this will be called to explain what they meant at the time they wrote the document.